Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's me, Larry the Batman fan. I'm back with another video. Today we're going to go over yet another pickups video. I have accumulated in the past 2 months probably about 40 something games right here. And I just wanted to show all you guys what I got. I know the last pickups video I said I was going to be done with this, but sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I guess I'm just a hypocrite. Sorry. uh, Game collecting is just something I really enjoy doing, you know. So that's why I got more games. But I am slowing down on buying games and stuff because I need the money more than I need the games. But I'm gonna briefly show you guys what I got. Well, for PS2 and Wii stuff. I'm not gonna say much about them though. I'll save them for the video. Anyways, let's get started. So first off, I have a PSP game. I have Tony Hawk's Underground 2 Remix. I do have the case and manual for it. It's somewhere in my room. I have not found it yet, but I do have this. But it plays very well on the PSP. I like the game. Um, Basically the Underground 2 game that was on PS2, Xbox, and GameCube, but on portable. Pretty good. Sonic and the Lost World. I knew this was on my to get list for the Wii U. There's not that many Wii U games that I really want. Honestly, 'cause a lot of them are on other consoles, and they're just not ones I'm interested in picking up. You know, either that or like I said, they're on different consoles. So, but this one was one I wanted, so I picked it up. I have not played it yet. I look forward to playing it eventually. I would have picked up Axiom Verge and Devil's Third, but they're just too expensive for my budget. I mean, Axiom Verge is going for $100 right now, and Devil's Third is like $400. So there's no way I can afford that right now. We do have some GameCube titles. I got 5 titles here. They're all complete except for one game. 2 of them I got from TJ Buys and Sells. This one's missing the manual. Um, as you can see, no manual in there, unfortunately, but it is Super Mario Sunshine. This is obviously not my favorite Mario game, personally. I didn't like how they framed you for the evil Mario, you know, wrecking the town with all this paint and stuff like that, and you get framed and they think you're the bad guy even though you're really not. There was a Mario that was duplicated to look like you, and he was like causing havoc everywhere he went. And you kind of have to chase after him, and you kind of have to go through the levels and clean up the town, make it look nice again. That was kind of a pain in the ass, to be honest with y'all. But the gameplay is fun, and the storyline may suck, but there's still some sort of heart to this game at the end of its core. You know, like an apple at the end of its core. Just, you know, it's good, but at the core, it's not so good. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel, if that makes sense. So it's still a decent Mario game. It's just not my favorite Mario game that they made. I like Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 better than I like this, to be honest. And Super Mario 64, that was a masterpiece. Next up, I have Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX 2. I picked it up on the cheap. I'm not a huge sports video game fan. I'm really not into sports games, but there's a few that are okay. This one's okay. Bicycle games back then were very popular. They were trying to capitalize on what Tony Hawk was doing, but didn't quite get to where, you know, they didn't quite get on Tony Hawk's level is what I'm trying to say. You know, because Tony Hawk was the shit, and this is just okay. You know what I mean? This and Dave Mirror. I did not like Mountain Bike Adrenaline for PS2 because controls just sucked ass in that game. The game sucks. That was a terrible bicycle game, but this one was okay. I played this a bit. I like the graphics in the GameCube version. They look a little bit better than the PS2 version. The game was also released on Xbox as well, the original Xbox. So it was all on all three consoles. But I picked up the GameCube version because I don't have that many GameCube games, and I wanted to get my GameCube collection up more, so that way we can do an updated GameCube collection. It was cheap. It was only about $12, so I mean for $12, that's worth it. Next up from TJ Buys and Sells, we have Mario Party 7. The case he gave me was one of the crappiest cases, so I threw that case away. And then I switched it out with one of my own cases. It's just disc only, but it does have the case. And I made a custom-made cover art for it, since I don't have the cover art or manual for the game. Game does look like it had some scratches on it, though. Which I keep telling TJ, please. You know, you're okay for a seller, but you want to be on the level of Matthew. Please don't sell me scratched up games. I really fucking hate when people sell me scratched up discs. It just pisses me off as a collector. Okay? You know, you can tell by the disc there is some scratches on this disc. So hopefully this still works. But, you know, I really don't like buying scratched up games. Most of the time I can't play them and enjoy them. So that's where I get pissed off with people, is when they try to sell me scratched up shit. Hold on a second. Sorry, I apologize. The weather here has been a lot colder than normal. It's been in the 30s and 40s and early 50s, like 51 and 52, 53 degrees. So that's why sinuses get a little messed up. Next up, we have Rayman Arena. Trying out a lot of the Rayman games lately because I think that they have some merit to them. They're platformer games, side-scrolling platformer games at that, and a lot of them are actually pretty good. I have the first one on PlayStation, and I have some of the Rayman Raving Rabbids games on the Wii. I own all of them except for the first one. I don't have Rayman Raving Rabbids. I don't have that one. But all the other ones I have, I think. Actually, no, I'm missing Rayman 2, The Great Escape. I'm missing that for PlayStation and Nintendo 64. I don't have that game. But I haven't played this yet, but I'm looking forward to playing it. It was also released on PlayStation 2 as well. But I decided to get the GameCube version. I forgot how much I paid for this. I think it was about $15 or $20 around that price. GameCube games are not cheap anymore for some reason. A lot of collectors want GameCube stuff, so be prepared to pay like $20, $15, you know, $12, $13 for GameCube games. I don't really see many GameCube games for $5 anymore. They're just not there. You know, a lot of them are $10 and up. Some of them go up to 50 or 100 or 200. Or if it's really rare, like Cubivore, it's like a $400 game. It's crazy. Finally got Bait and Kaitos. This is one of the few RPG games on the GameCube, besides Super Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, Skies of Arcadia Legends, and Tales of Symphonia. And Lost Kingdoms. This is really the only other RPG game that I know of on the GameCube. There was a sequel to it, and then there was this one, Bait and Kaitos, Eternal Wings of the Lost Ocean. Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but I'm looking forward to playing it. I got it off a seller on on eBay. It just didn't have the manual. I got it for $27.50. That's a good deal for this game. I've seen it go up to about 40 or 50 bucks. So for $27.50, that's a good deal. I'll take it. I've been wanting to play this game for a very long time and never was able to find it or play it. Mr. Deals had a copy, I think, for 50 bucks or 60 bucks. I wasn't really willing to pay that, so glad to have it for a little bit cheaper than that and finally play this game. See what it's like. Alright, we did get some DK Oldies stuff in the mail today. I got everything but Road Rash. I ordered it and I was hoping it would be here today. Unfortunately, I guess they were all sold out of the copies on it on Sega Genesis, so I don't have it. But I have proof of the receipt here, DK Oldies. Here's the proof. So hopefully you guys will be getting more copies of Road Rash in soon. And I will be getting a copy on Sega Genesis sent to my house, because otherwise that's bullshit. Because I paid $15 for that cartridge. I want that game in my collection, please. Anyways, got Mortal Kombat 2. I had a first one on Sega Genesis, but didn't have the second or third one, so it's good to have this in my collection. It was cheap too. It was only like $9. $9, that's not bad. It is the cosmetically flawed version, but it still looks pretty damn good. There's no like major rips or tears in the cart, so I mean, that's not bad. Not bad at all. It's almost like it's a good condition cartridge. I'd say almost, because it's not quite. Got a memory card. I needed another memory card because I have 2 memory cards for PS2 and they all filled up. And I got about 20 new PS2 games, and a lot of them that just says you don't have enough space to store it on a memory card. So I just bought another one for like 12 to 15 bucks. Got Kingdom Hearts 2. Great game. Looking forward to playing this. Got Front Mission 4 for PS2. Never played it, but it looked interesting, and it was under $20, so it was cheap. So we'll see what this game is like. I've never played it, but it's a Square Enix game. So it's from the makers of Final Fantasy, so it should be fun. I don't know what kind of game it is. Maybe it's like Dino Crisis or something. Or maybe it's just another RPG type of game. I'm not sure. Next up, we got Call of Juarez Bound in Blood for the Xbox 360. It's also available on PS3. This game's good. It's a Western shooting game. It's fun. I know they made the Cartel, and I heard that one sucked because they took away the Western aspects in the game and made it more of a Mafia type of game, which didn't work. And there's another one on the Switch called Gunslingers, which I never played. I never played either one of them. But from what I know, this one's good. And it's cheap. It's only about 10, 12 bucks. Alright, we got another Wii U game. We got Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. One on my list that I wanted to get, and I got it for about 20 bucks or 15 bucks. That's worth it for that price. Seeing that it's one of the few Wii U games that I didn't own that I thought was worth owning. The only other Wii U games that I'm looking out for is Super Paper Mario Color Splash, Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE. I'm also looking for, I would like to have Devil's Third and Action Verge, but they're just too much money, so forget that. I don't know. I'm not really into Pikmin. I'm not into that, so Pikmin 3 is out. The Sonic Boom game I heard sucked, so I don't want that. Only reason for me to pick up a bad game is if I just want to torture myself, or if I just want to remind myself of what a bad game is versus what a good game is. That's the only reason to spend money on a bad game, and I know that game's bad. I don't know. Hyrule Warriors would be nice to have, but you can get the Switch version, a definitive version of the game. But I guess the Wii U version of that would be nice. I did have a copy once, but I sold it. I should get that back in my collection. Like I said, there's only about 10 other games on the Wii U that's worth owning, in my opinion. Flat Out Head On. I have Flat Out Head On here, as you see, but unfortunately, the disc is not in good shape. It's bad. It's all busted up. The same seller that sold me Tony Hawk also sold me Flat Out Head On and that Baten Kaitos, but see, it's broken. So I gotta send this back to the seller. Maybe I'll send it out tomorrow or something to the guy, but it's not in good shape. It's broken. See? Broken. So the seller wants me to send it back to him, so I'll do that. And then I can get a different game in its place, the seller said. And I already chosen that game. It's Rogue Galaxy for PS2 because this seller actually has some games that I'm interested in. I would have bundled it all up and bought it, but the seller wanted too much money, $300 for the stack, and I've had better deals when Matthew was doing this shit. It just doesn't make any sense. So I'll pass. But yeah, we'll be getting Rogue Galaxy very soon, hopefully, when I return this. For PS2, we got Alter. I'm just going to show you guys what I got here, just to save time. I got Alter Echo. That was a recent pickup. Picked up 6 or 7 more PS2 games, because if I do a part 6, I'm going to need the games. Disney Think Fast. This was part of the Bajillion Books games. It had a bunch of PS2 stuff in there. If you guys have watched Pickups video number 14, I believe, I showed that off. All the games that were in the box. Some of the games were not interesting to me. I'm not interested in a lot of sports games. I don't care about them. Or there were duplicates of games I already own. So, but this one was in there. I'm going to try it out. It's a trivia type of game. I'm not really into trivia stuff, but we'll give it a try and see if it's actually worthwhile. Okay, we got some more stuff. Tom Clancy Splinter Cell. The seller that sold me Onimusha 3, I guess I was a returning customer and the seller decided to send me this. When I got it in the mail, I was actually surprised that the seller sent me this. But sometimes sellers do that is to say thank you for spending money with them several times. So I do appreciate that. I'm not trying to sound ungrateful. I am grateful for it. That he threw in a free game. I'm only going to say his first name. His first name is Arthur. And Arthur sent me Onimusha 3 that I paid for and this for free. Which I am a fan of the Splinter Cell games. I think they're good games. I like playing as Secret Agent Sam Fisher. But the thing is, I already own the game. So this is a duplicate for me. So this game's actually going to go in the PS2 bundle lot that I have for eBay. Spy Hunter Nowhere to Run. I never got to play this game. I remember when it first came out, and I never got to play it. I only played the first game for PS2 and thought that that was a okay game, but it was more driving. There was no like third-person shooting in it. This one kind of does both. We play as Dwayne The Rock Johnson, or just The Rock. You know, I haven't played it yet, but look forward to playing it. I heard from X-Play reviews that it wasn't a very good game, but can't always go by what someone says. You know, I could very well like that game. You never know. For J Street Video Games, which is a retro game store where I live, I bought Metal Arms Glitch in the System. It's a third-person shooter game with robots. It's actually a really fun game. I like it. Pretty good. It was also available on GameCube, and I think it was on Xbox as well. But it's a good game. It does have some platforming elements in the game as well. Hurdy-Gurdy. I heard this game is terrible. I still have not played it yet, but I look forward to playing it very soon. We'll see if it's really that bad. Soul Calibur 3, this is another one I got from TJ Buys and Sells. I got this from him. You know, it's a good fighting game. I like it. Very fun. Um, he didn't know this, but there's actually two copies of the same game. Maybe he thought it was a disc 1, disc 2, but it's not. This is the greatest hits version of the disc. And the PS2 original version right there. Surprisingly, one of the discs didn't work. It was really scratched. You know, I think it was this greatest hits copy. It was really scratched up, if you can tell. Probably can't see in the lighting, but it's really bad. So now that I've shown that, I'm going to throw that out because it's busted. Just keep this for this disc. Also got MX 2002 starring Ricky Carmichael for PS2. I got this off of TJ Buys and Sells as well. It would not play in my PS2, unfortunately. I tried it, it will not play. I don't know why. I think it's because the disc was resurfaced and it just would not play, would not read the disc. Some of these blue discs, the PS2 disc reader will not read for some stupid reason. This I also picked up from J Street Video Games. It's got WDL Thunder Tanks, which stands for World Destruction League Thunder Tanks. Looked like it was a cool game. Looked like it plays just like Twisted Metal, but in tanks instead of cars and trucks. So I decided to pick it up. I mean, it was only $7. I'm like, what the hell? If it sucks, it's not that bad because I only paid $7. But hopefully, it's a good game. Got Jak 3 right here. VCL Motor Mayhem. Picked that up in Mr. Deals in a 3 for $10 bin. It looked pretty cool. Looked like a Twisted Metal type of clone. Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories. Oh, and by the way, most of these PS2 games are complete. They are CIB. There's a few of them that don't have the manual, though. Onimusha 3 Demon Siege. Nice to have that. I have all the Onimusha games except the fighting game and Onimusha 4 Dawn of Dreams. I don't have that one. Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Hot Shots Tennis. This is actually a decent sports game. This and Hot Shots Golf 3 and 4 on PS2. The first two were on the PlayStation 1. And there was another one on the PS Vita. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. Good game. One of the best SpongeBob games that was ever made, to be honest. I was really surprised by this game from what I played. The only problem with the game is why can't he swim? That makes no fucking sense. I don't understand. Why can't SpongeBob swim? He's a sea creature, but he cannot swim. Just makes no sense. And there's respawning of the enemies in the game. That's the other thing. So there were two flaws in the game, but that's about it. Other than that, it's pretty good. Alright, now we move on to the Wii games. Let me take a swig real quick and we'll continue. Tom Clancy Hawks 2. Never played it. I'm not into flying games. Really, the only flying games I like is Star Fox and Crimson Skies Road to Revenge. Or High Road to Revenge, whatever the title's called. And the Star Wars Rogue Squadron series is actually pretty good too. I know I haven't mentioned that in the past, but I do like the Rogue Squadron series. I think 2 was probably the best out of all 3 of them. Surprised they never made a 4th game. But that series is pretty good too. But it's not all just flying around and shooting, air wings and things like that in the game. There's other stuff that you do in the game. Rock and Roll Adventures. This disc was heavily scratched up. It would not play in my Wii U, unfortunately. But I heard it's a crappy game. I heard it's not a very good game. It's made by the same people that made Anubis 2 and Ninja Breadman, so it probably sucks. But I could not play it. I would not read the disc. Heavy Fire Afghanistan. This was a Metal Jesus Rocks pickup. I watched his videos again on the Wii Hidden Gems videos because I was thinking I need just a few more games to do a Wii collection part 2, but I don't want them all being crappy games, and I want to avoid the shovelware. So I don't know. I was kind of beside myself, like, what game do I get? What 2 or 3 extra games should I buy? And then, so I just watched his videos again on the Wii Hidden Gems and found this in there. I was like, oh, it's a shooting game. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll get it. I played it a little bit. It was pretty fun, but it was also very challenging too. So thank you, Metal Jesus, for that. X-Men Destiny. This was a TJ Buys and Sells pickup. I got this in a lot with a bunch of other games. Not bad. Good beat 'em up game. It's not exclusive to the Wii though. It was also on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Eminem's Beach Party. Yeah. I'm going to save this for the Wii collection and possibly talk about it if we do a third collab, me and Jagger Gold Kick. This will probably make the cut for one of the worst games on the Wii. It sucks. All the M&M's games that were on the Wii, they suck. All 3 of them suck. Resident Evil. I did not get to show this in the Resident Evil video that I did, but I did mention that I was picking this game up. I picked up the Wii version over the GameCube version because the GameCube version is going for crazy prices now. It's like $35 for a copy. I'm like, this version was only 18. So I'm like, I'll get the Wii version. And I did. It's a good game. Flat Out for the Wii, pretty good game. I did play this a bit on sometime last week. I think I played that. I didn't own it for the Wii, and I am a fan of the Flat Out series, so I wanted to get that in my collection. Mercury Meltdown Revolution. Interesting puzzle game. Definitely need a lot of patience for that game, though. But it's interesting and does have some fun moments. Crash of the Titans. I got this off of TJ Buys and Sells for about $12 plus shipping. I had the PS2 version, which I would prefer the PS2 version, but when he sold that to me, it was all scratched and it didn't work. But thankfully, he refunded me my $9, so I didn't get ripped off. So he's a fair seller on eBay. I recommend him. Please check him out. If you're interested in clothing or video games, he's got your back. But I got the Wii version of it. I think it was also on Xbox 360 as well. The House of the Dead Overkill, which is a good game. I beat this recently. I finished the game. And from what I played, I enjoyed what I played of the game. The only thing is that the PS3 version of the game had 2 extra levels in the game, making it 9 levels. This version only had 7. And the game was relatively short. I beat it in about 7 hours or 8 hours. Not a very long game, but it was satisfying enough. I will say for the Wii game, it definitely earned its M rating because of the crude humor in the game, the blood and gore and intense violence, and also sexual themes and language. The language was heavy in this game. There's tons of F words and H words, hell, damn, the S word and B word said in it. Isaac Washington, I will say, is not a very likable character, and you can kind of relate to him, what he's going through, because his dad was killed by Papa Caesar, but at the same time, he is a little bit of a dick, to be honest, the way he treats Agent G. But they ended up forcefully working together because his father was killed and his mom was dead. So he had pretty much nobody but himself, and he knew that in a zombie apocalypse, he wouldn't make it on his own, so he had to team up with Agent G, who was a survivor as well. They teamed up together to take out the zombies and arrest Papa Caesar. There's an Unreal shooter game. It was pretty good for the Wii. I was impressed. Emergency Heroes. Super Mario Galaxy 2. One of the best Wii games ever made on the Wii. One of the best. Like, that is a shining example of how you do a Wii game correctly, with great graphics, great story line, great everything. That game's, it rules. It's awesome. Some of these games I did get in a lot. I bought 2 or 3 different separate lots. Epic Mickey and Star Wars Episode 2. Sorry. Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2, I mean, for the Wii version of that game. Those 2 I added to the Wii bundle lot I have on my eBay account because I don't need them. So I already own them, so I'm just going to sell them with the Wii games that I don't need. But the rest of them I kept because they're ones that I want. But not every title on here is good. There's a couple of crappy ones. Here's one I really wanted, and I'm glad to have it. Came with a lot, like 4 or 5 games. Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I finally have this in my collection, which is nice. The disc is in good shape, too. AMF Bowling Pin Busters. It's a bowling game for the Wii. Dead Space Extraction. I said in one of the last pickups videos that I did that I was going to be picking this up because I knew it was a good Wii game. I had to get it back in my collection. I'm glad to have it. It wasn't as cheap as it was the last time, though, that I had it. It's about $20 now, $25. So be prepared to pay around that price. $30 at the most. Ski-Doo Challenge. I heard this was a good game. It's an underrated racing game, so I decided to pick it up. However, the seller sold me a scratched up disc, and it's not guaranteed to work. I did mention it to the seller that this disc was really scratched. But that seller just was like, "You don't want it, man. You can send it back to me." It's like, "Oh, bitch, how about giving me a refund? How about giving me my $8 back for this damn game?" See? I don't know if you can tell, but that's scratched. Got some scratches on that disc. But it's a underrated Wii game. This game I could actually put in a Wii Hidden Gems Part 4 because it's that good. It's underrated. You know? I don't hear anybody talking about that game. Rabbids Go Home. This was part of the lot. The disc is really scratched up and it doesn't work, unfortunately. It didn't come with the case or a manual. It was just by itself, so I put it in a case. So it's near complete now. I just don't have the manual for it. Too bad the disc is really scratched. Be careful when you buy it from eBay sellers because some of them, they don't care. They rip you off and they don't care one bit. They just want your money. They care less about selling you quality. They just want to sell you bullshit that's scratched up and doesn't work. Need for Speed Carbon. I had this on PS2, but I threw that game away because it was really scratched up, and I don't have a disc repair machine, so it's nice to have it on Wii, though. I'll see how it plays on Wii versus the PS2 version. I know the game is also on the PS3 and Xbox 360, and possibly the PSP. Spyborgs. Got that for cheap, about $10. Heard that's a good game on the Wii. Disney's Universe. And then the last 2 I have in custom made cases because they didn't have the cover art for them. The House of the Dead 2 and 3 Returns. This is a good game. Only thing that sucks is it doesn't have the first game. You know, and it doesn't have House of the Dead 4 either, unfortunately. But I still have it with the manual and the disc. It's in good shape. I bought it for $9 off of eBay. Seller sold it to me for that price because it didn't have the cover art. Seller wanted a little bit more, wanted about 15, I think, for it plus shipping. I wasn't gonna pay that without the cover art. Come on. But I got the seller down to $9, and the seller took it, so I paid about $12. I mean, with the shipping, it's good, worth the money. I think for that price, saved myself $5, off the original price, or $6 because eBay tax. But yeah, it's good. The only thing about this game that I'd say is a disappointment is there's no first game or fourth game, and two, the amount of continues you get in this game is pathetic. I mean, you only get like an extra 2 or 3 continues, and then it's game over. It's like that makes the game very challenging. At least in the House of the Dead Overkill, I can get through the entire game, even if I die. I can still continue from where I left off and get through the game. I can't do that with that game. The first game I can buy on either PS4 or PS5 or the Switch if I want, since they did port the first game finally on those consoles, the newer consoles. But originally it was only available in the arcades and on Sega Saturn. Last game I had to show is The Last Story. It's a great Wii game. Haven't had a chance to play it, but I know what it is. It's an RPG game, and I'm really happy to have that from Bajillion Books, even though it was loose disc. But now that we have it in a case, all I really need to get is the cover art and the manual, and I'd only get the cover art and manual if it's a reasonable price. I'm not going to pay $20 for a cover art and manual. It's just not going to happen. So, look forward to playing that very soon. And that's pretty much everything that I picked up. I do have a copy of Sonic Heroes coming in the mail very soon, and Area 51 coming in the mail very soon as well. I'd like to pick up Infected and Gene Dark for the PSP, but I don't know when that's going to happen. Especially when I got a lot of bills, and Christmas season is upon us, and I need money to buy Christmas gifts for my family. And I got Mom's Christmas shopping done. I just have a few more gifts to get for my brother and one gift for Miles. So, gotta take care of that. I already got Jack of Gold Kick's gifts done. That's over with. And Zack Attack Studios was taken care of, and so was Ultima. So their gifts are out of the way. I'm going to mainly focus on just my brother and maybe a few of my friends. And that's about it. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you for listening. God bless you all, and I hope you enjoyed. Take care. Peace.